Welcome to another episode of Overanalyzing Cartoons Massacre, a series where I take a look at a cartoon's massacre completion and overanalyze it, showing tips and strategies used, mistakes made, and what you should and shouldn't do when playing this mode. I won't be mentioning literally everything since I'll be going under the assumption that you have read through my guide and have a good understanding of it already. So, I'm going to be comparing this run to a theoretical perfect version of this exact run to help you further understand this challenge. I want to clarify that I'm not making these videos to hate on the person playing or saying the run sucks. The modes of A Week with Javier 3 have so much going on that it makes it almost humanly impossible to play these modes perfectly. I just want to make this video to show what mistakes you may make when doing the challenge, as truly understanding this challenge can really help you become a lot better and consistent at beating this. This is one of those FNAF challenges where anything and everything can happen with an absurd amount of situations that can happen, which makes it very easy to call this challenge RNG. So I made this series as a way to help players fully understand this challenge because, in reality, while every situation is affected by RNG, the challenge really is just being able to think fast and quickly adapt to anything that can happen. And if you're good at doing so in this challenge, then it isn't nearly as RNG as you may think. But RNG does still play a crucial role in varying the difficulty of many situations that can happen. Only the first part of this video has a script. I didn't prepare a script for anything else, so if there's something I missed or should have mentioned, then I will leave a pinned comment and talk about all of what I missed and should have mentioned. But I do prepare notes for these videos, so I shouldn't miss too much. Alright, so let's finally get to the completion video. I'm recording this video at a different time than usual, so apologies if I apologize if there's like some sort of background noise that you might hear, because it might get a little loud later on in the recording, but hopefully not. I'm sorry if it does, but yeah. This is Ruben's run, Ruben X33. He's one of my friends, and we talked a bit. And I helped him a little bit with being the challenge. So yeah, he made good use of my guide, but by the time he recorded this video, my guide wasn't fully 100% complete. There was still some missing information, so he doesn't make use of some important tips that causes a lot of situations for him to happen that could have been avoided, a lot of deaths that he could have avoided. But it's okay. I'm going to be analyzing it either way. So in case you might have forgotten about it from my guide, then yeah. Okay. This, unlike the last video, there is no like compilation of clips. Like he normally does make them, but right in the situation he didn't do it. Uh, I forgot why, but yeah, that's it. I'm going to be I'll only be including the main run. He does talk about the mode a lot during the after he beat the mode, like the in these timestamps over here. He talks a lot about this challenge, but I actually already made a comment. I already commented in this video about what he talked about because yeah, a lot of what he said is how this mode's very RNG, which I tried to help clarify that it wasn't, and help explain a lot of situations that he mentioned during these parts. So feel free to check this video out. Again, like Ruben, he's a really cool Spanish FNAF YouTuber. He makes cool and entertaining videos, commentary wise, anyways. And yeah, you should check him out and in this video as well. If you want to learn a little bit more about this challenge, then check out this video and check my comment in the comment section. Oh yeah, let's actually get the video this time for real. Unlike the other videos, I have a lot more notes prepared, so there's gonna be a lot I want to talk about. So just like the usual, he sets his temperature to 80. It's fine either way. It's preference choices, but I already explained why I prefer changing the temperature to 40 in my last episode. Go check out episode 2 if you want to know why I prefer changing the temperature to 40 instead of 80. But it's overall fine. It doesn't really affect the mode that much, so it's okay. Already, demise Mr. Monarcha. He almost he almost got jump scared by demise Mr. Monarcha instantly. Like as soon as he spawned in, like the first demise attack, and he almost got jump scared by him. It would have been funny. It really would not have mattered at all. It's the very beginning of the night. If he got jump scared by him, so what? Like Liz is still at the beginning. You can prepare the system and blah. That's it. You can't really get attacked by anyone at this point besides SEJ. Charity will have your. If you don't know what that means, yeah, it's a fun little thing. Very close there. No, look at that. You got the Easter egg, the two eyes in Fun to Javier's head. There's Shadow Evil Javier at the left floor in the. Oh, so he makes a little mistake here. He changed the temperature to 60. This is not necessary. You can just change the temperature to 70 to make it easier to go back to the temperature you went back to. The minus bindi only requires you to change temperature at 50, 60, or 70 for it to go away, not 60. Not only 60, but you can also change to 60, but it's not required. 50 or 70 is more worth it, just so you can have the temperature change ready, so you can change temperature to hot or cold faster. You know, just a little thing. Okay, so a little mistake, a small tiny little mistake here. So right now, his temperature is at 61 in this, like, as I pause it here. And what he does, he turns off the power or the lights, he turns off the lights and he goes onto the cameras. Really, this is actually one of those very few situations where it's better to go to the cameras while the lights are on. There are a few situations where it's better to do it, but this is one of those situations because you want to change the temperature to 80 as fast as possible. You can't leave the temperature from not being 80 or higher or not being like 40 or lower. You have to make it cold or hot like as much as possible so that you will have to so that you'll have less problems with Tom and Jeff and also with Zack in general. So if you left the lights on, sure you're risking darknet appearing at the window and the errors are a bit more frequent, but it's more important that you have the temperature be cold or hot rather than deal with rather than having the errors happen less often or darknet appear at the window. Again, every time you go to the cameras with the lights on, be more careful with darknet. You have to make sure you check the window. You don't stay on the cameras for more than 4 seconds without checking the window. But yeah, just like just look. He plays audio for Jeff, and look, his temperature would have been around 78 or maybe even 80 at this point if he kept the lights on. But since he decided to turn it off right away, it's not higher. It could have been higher, but yeah. It's not actually that big of a deal, but just a small adjustment, a small optimization you could do to make the run a little bit easier for yourself. That's all. There's the nice Fontaine Javier, Tom, pretty typical, Zack with the blue light, but you don't need to care about that. And yeah, good use. If you see, I'm not sure if you noticed what he did, but he was checking the two top cameras, cameras camera 2B and camera 4B, like to see if Sharon Milk and Yogurt moved to those cameras. This is a good tip in my guide, and yeah, he made good use of it, so good for him. He didn't see he didn't see Sharon Milk and Yogurt at the two top cameras at the second floor, so he's checking the bottom shot camera now from now on and wait until they show up. Again, good tip, good use of my tip. Very nice. Right, the audio system. Pretty typical. Liz is there, you have to be careful for her. Ravager. I checked the vent radar now if I were you. I would say, excuse me, I would say I would check the vents radar like right then and there. Like after checking this camera, the left door camera, I'd check the vents radar before dealing with the Ravager. You certainly have enough time to do so, and you know you gotta check the vents radar as much as possible. That's very important, so that you won't have to deal with Tom. But luckily, it is at the very beginning of the night, so you won't risk Mr. Springlock attacking you, or because the temperature at because the temperature is at 80, then Tom won't be that big of a deal. So luckily, it didn't really matter. But yeah, this is going in the top vent. Okay, a little mistake he made here. Shadow Evil have your attack the vent, but he decides to deal with the Mice Mr. Monarcha first. You should deal with Shadow Evil have your at the vent first, especially because the Mice Mr. Monarcha is still far away from jump scaring you, so you have more than enough time to get rid of Shadow Evil have your first before getting rid of the Mice Mr. Monarcha. But it actually is completely fine here because his camera signal, look, his camera signal meter over here, it's still at 3 meters, which to me that's very surprising because at this point normally the camera signal would be like 2 bars or maybe even or like most of the time it would be at like 1 bar. Sometimes it would even be broken at least once. So at this point, his camera signal has not depleted 1 bar at all, and it's already like 1:30 a.m. This is extremely rare, and he got very lucky that the camera signal is still at full at this point on. So yeah, no, it didn't really matter for him, thankfully, because signal at 3 bar. But just a thing you should do just in case. Make sure you try to even have your first. This is there at the right vent. And oh, let me go back a little bit. Right after the Mr. Monarcha left, wait, let me go back a little bit. Right here, you heard Liz just enter the right vent. But right after the Mr. Monarcha leaves, he already activates the right vent laser. This is a big mistake because you are wasting a lot more power than you needed to. You could have saved like half of your power if you waited like an extra like 5 seconds. And he does this for pretty much the entire run, where he activates the right vent laser for Liz, like very early, very unnecessarily early, which in the end like causes him to recharge the laser power more often, which is a big risk because recharging more systems more often will risk some characters sneaking in at very unfortunate times. So this was a big mistake on his part, but it's okay. He still won this round, so it's fine. Let me. Okay, that's funny. Let me get rid of the captions real quick. There you go. Okay, let me go back a little bit. Did I miss anything? Okay. Charlie will have your in the vent. He dealt with him right away that time. That's good. Good choice. But one thing that I find really weird is that he already is recharging the laser power, like right now. This is not. It's a weird choice. It's a very weird choice because he used it only one time, and it's for Liz. He used it only one time, and he's already recharging the laser power. I get that he doesn't want to risk like running out later on, forgetting about it or something, but really, he only used it one time, and this again mostly happened because he activated the right vent laser too early for Liz. So this caused him to recharge the system a lot earlier than he needed to, and this was yeah, this actually made a lot of it caused a big series of events where a lot of unfortunate things happened later on. So we'll see that happen in a bit. Right here, the oxygen font alarm is going off. He's still in the process of repairing the system though. But one good thing he makes here is that before he doesn't immediately repair the oxygen font alarm. He makes the correct choice and checks the vent radar first and plays the audio lure first. He does these two actions before going over to repair the oxygen font alarm. And luckily, Mr. Springlock was there at the top vent and he managed to overheat him in time. Very good choice. He wouldn't have been able to do that if he repaired the oxygen font first. I don't know when he got there. I don't know when Mr. Springlock went there, but if he was there for a while, he would have died to Mr. Springlock if he recharged the oxygen font right after the laser power. So don't repair two systems at once. This is a very important tip. And oops, I did that. And luckily, he did this and he managed to survive because of this. But one thing I would do differently in this situation than what he did, right here. Oh, oops. He placed the audio lure on camera 2B. Let me go back a little bit, like 2 seconds. Notice here, Jeff is not in this camera. Jeff would have been here at camera 2B, but he's not. And the oxygen font alarm is going off, and the temperature is also at 80. So playing the audio lure at this camera is very risky because Jeff is very fast and he's not here. So if I was him, I would have played the audio lure here in this camera. I think that this is camera 4B, I'm pretty sure. I would have played the audio lure in this camera instead because if playing the audio lure in this camera while the oxygen font is going off and while the temperature's at 80, it's a very big risk for Jeff to escape. But luckily, he does manage to catch Jeff here. Because if I go back like 5 seconds, a little bit more, that sound cue, if you heard it right then, the sound cue of Jeff moving to camera 2B just played. So Jeff moved there very recently, so luckily he was able to survive because of that. if Jeff had not moved there like later and he moved earlier, he could have definitely escaped the audio lore and he could have gone to the first floor. So he got lucky here. Yeah, again, this is a situation where you play the audio lore like one camera closer or two cameras closer, depending on when you last heard his when you last heard Jeff's like movement sound. But yeah, it's okay. He managed to catch Jeff in the end. Right there, you heard that that sound right there. That's Jeff moving back to camera 2B. So luckily he survived that encounter, that risky situation. Luckily, and yeah. Before I talk about that real quick, he did all of these actions, he made lots of risks, and this all could have been avoided if he did not recharge the laser power. He recharged the laser power, and this caused all of this to happen. This didn't have to happen. He could have played the audio lure before the oxygen font went off, but it just so happened that this happened. So unfortunate timing, and yeah, it really goes to show that sometimes making the wrong decisions will cause a lot more risk than needed. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that part. Now, let me talk about what happens next. Zack. Before it reaches 2 a.m., Zack is already laughing, which means he's about to go to the front window. This is extremely, and I mean extremely, extremely rare, because I almost never encounter this happening to me. Zack will almost never go to the front window before 2 a.m., and yet he still does, which is a very rare situation. I don't know. Ruben got very unlucky here, but luckily, he managed to stay in time to 40. The get rid of Zack, and oh, the video's lagging. Hello. Hold on, let me go back a little bit. The video was lagging on my end. Wait a second. What? Oh, this is our recording issue on Ruben's end. I'm pretty sure. I thought that was my PC, but it wasn't. Now here we have Jack. And good choice. Very good choice. He checked the vents radar during Jack's attack. Very good use. I'm not sure if this tip was in my guide by the time he recorded this, but if it wasn't, then very smart for him to check the vents radar while Jack is attacking. Very good overall. Shatter Evil Javier. Shatter Evil Javier attacking the vents. He should have gone a bit earlier. Yeah, he encountered the combo. Shatter Evil Javier and the camera error combo. He almost died to this. He was extremely close to dying to this. Luckily, he managed to get to it in time, but I would say, I go back a little bit. I would go right now. He spent a little too much time winding Jack's box. I would have gone to the vents radar a lot earlier than how he does it. Like, look, he waits until 2 extra ticks. He winds 2 extra little meters in Jack's music box before going to check Cherry will have here in the vent. I would just go instantly. Who cares how high up Jack's music box is? Just go as fast as possible. The only time where you would wind Jack's music box a little bit more compared to going to Shadow Evil Javier in the vents is if the meter is that low, but it shouldn't normally be that low. You just have to be good at managing his music box. Yeah, this didn't have to be this close. He could have done a little better here, but he still avoided it, which is good. Very good that he managed to avoid it. A little mistake he makes here. Let me go back here. Audio lore. He should have played the audio lore at this camera. He's at camera 2B, and he noticed the audio lore, it's clearly like not playing. So, if I go a little bit more time, luckily Jack is still in camera 2B because Jack was in the office. So luckily, he didn't have to worry about that much. And because, again, the temperature is at 40, so Jeff is lower here. So, luckily, this doesn't really affect him at all. But yeah, he doesn't play the audio lore for this long when he could have played it a lot earlier. Because look, he's still not checking, not going to here. He's still not playing the audio lore. He's still not playing the audio lore, but only now he finally plays the audio lore. This is risky, very risky, because what if the oxygen font alarm went off? like right as he went back to the camera to like check the audio load. He could have, if that happened, if the oxygen alarm went off, Jeff had a really good chance to escape there, even if the temperature's at 40. Because even if the temperature is at 40 and like sorry, even if the temperature's at 40, Jeff would have still escaped at this point if the oxygen alarm went off. Not always, but he had a good chance of escaping if the alarm went off here, despite the temperature being at 40. So he should have played it earlier, but it's fine. I'll go back a few seconds because there's something else that happens here that's pretty interesting. Lids at the window notice Liz. Wait, if you go back a little bit, I'll replay that again. Liz is at the window. The screen went dark. It's hard to notice because he turned off the lights at the exact same time, but the screen went dark at the very moment. Watch. Yeah, if you notice there, the screen went black, which means Liz has moved away from the front window. So Liz is either at the left door camera or the darknet camera. But if you see here, Liz, he's already at the darknet camera, and look, Liz is right there at camera 3A warehouse corner. Liz is right here, and you can see that she's there. Okay, but notice how, look, he checks camera 6A, the left door camera, even though he could have seen that Liz was at the darknet camera. Again, it's fine overall. He didn't notice Liz was there, but he could have saved like a couple seconds here by paying attention to the cameras and stuff. Even if it's not important, I'd still highly advise like paying attention to what's going on in the cameras. Information like that can really help you decide what to do next. And I'll go back a little bit more because something else happened at this exact moment. Shadow Evil have yours in the vents. He should have gone earlier, but to be fair, he just overheated Tom, so the overheat is not ready yet. And besides, he's at 3 camera signals, so he doesn't have to check Shadow Evil Javier right away. So it's totally 100% okay that he does not check the vent radar right now. It's fine. But if the camera signal was at 1 meter, I would go and check the vent radar earlier. But if it's 3 meters, so it's fine. And again, he activates the right vent laser way too early for Liz. Liz has just moved, but he activates the right vent laser right away. This is not necessary and wastes a lot of power. It's okay. Overall, it's fine. But he still survived later on, but yeah. Yeah. He keeps doing strategy. He's not. If you notice, like the way he's playing, he's not really checking the two other cameras that Shadow can go to in the first floor. He's just checking camera 2B and camera 4B often to see if Shadow Yoga is there. He keeps relying on that strategy. That's good. I would also do that same thing as well. So good for him. He made really good use of that strategy. He didn't have to waste as much time on checking the first floor cameras by making use of that. So that's good. Good. A little mistake he made here. If I go back, the oxygen pond alarm went off, but he decided to repair it right away. I would check the vents radar before repairing the oxygen pond alarm because you recently just played the audio load for Jeff, so you won't have to worry about anything related to Jeff. Like he won't escape. Temperature at 40 and you play the audio load, so you won't have to worry about that. And Tom, because the temperature is at 40, Tom is a bit faster, so I would check the vent radar here before repairing the oxygen font. I mean, if you notice there, right then, did you hear it? I'm going to go back like 5 seconds here, if I can replay that moment. The vent right before the oxygen font alarm starts playing, you could hear vent sounds. Albeit it's quiet, it's hard to hear, but that means Tom has just moved. And this was bad because he's right now, before he started repairing the oxygen font alarm, Tom is at the bottom, is at the left vent camera, and not camera, sorry. Tom is at the left vent before he starts repairing the oxygen font, which means he could have overheated Tom before repairing the oxygen font, but Yeah, this was a big risk, especially since here. Do you hear? Shatter Evil Javier is also in the vents. So both of them are there. Tom went at this position like before he started repairing the oxygen font, which is risky because there was a chance Tom could have gone through this vent and he could have died here if he overheated Shadow Evil Javier first. Which is actually why it's actually the correct choice to overheat Tom first. That was good because the camera signal was at 2 meters. So Tom was at this position like for longer than Shadow Evil Javier was for at this position. So overheating Tom was correct. Shadow Evil Javier second. It really all comes down to priority. So it's good. Good choice. Very good. But yeah, going back a little bit, I want to go back to that bench right there. Normally, you would overheat Shadow Evil Javier over Tom every time, but that was just a situation where it's better to like prioritize Tom over Shadow Evil Javier in the bench. Okay, back to the video. He checks the one camera that he checks every camera except for the one camera that the mic's head is at, which is funny. Like he, okay, let me choose one here. Okay, repairs the audio system, temperature low. This is a major mistake he made. His stopwatch went off, but he will not change the temperature because he forgot to do so. This is a big mistake because of what happens later. I will show you what happens later as a result of this. But yeah, if I go back a little bit as well, he overheats this left vent. That's good. He wants to keep the power off for longer, so overheating the vent will help the temperature stay lower. And because the camera signal is at 2 meters, there's no risk with Shadow Evil have here, so good choice on his part. That's a good, making good use of my tip. Oh, sorry. But yeah, look, he's not changing. He is not changing the temperature. This is a really big mistake on his part. And yeah, Mr. Sprinlock in the vent again. Very good that he was able to catch that. Liz is going to go in the second at the vent. I mean, crazy how the mice Mike attacked 3 times in a row, which is crazy. That is a big mistake he made. Again, he's making this mistake of he activated the right vent laser before even hearing Liz go to that camera, or not camera, but he activated the right vent laser before hearing Liz go to the vent, which this uses up so much power, very unnecessary. Yep, Liz and Tom are both going to go there. Very good choice here he made. If I go back a little bit. Wait, let me go back a little bit more. Let me check something real quick. Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure. He played the audio lure on that camera despite Jeff not being there. This is fine because because the audio lure was not playing, but only for a short amount of time, and because the temperature's at 40, Jeff would not have enough time to move to the first floor. So playing the audio at camera 2B was the correct decision. That's good. Yeah, Liz. Okay, go back. We go back like a little bit more. I wanna talk about this a little bit. Hold on. There. Liz left the right vent. You can hear the sound cue play, but he leaves the right vent laser activated. Luckily, it's okay because Tom went to the vent, so I guess that's fine. But he could have saved power. He could have saved quite a bit of power here. If he opened the deactivated the laser right after Liz left, but it's fine. It really wouldn't have mattered because look, he's repairing the laser power right now, but mistake he made real quick. He just finished repairing the oxygen font, but he instantly repairs or recharges another system in the maintenance panel. Wrong choice. Don't recharge two systems at once, or don't repair two systems at once in the maintenance panel. Again, go make sure to check the audio for Jeff, unless you know it's playing already. I'm not sure you know that. And also check the vent radar. Check the vent radar after every time you repair the system. So luckily Tom doesn't get to him in this position, so he still survives. Luckily, Tom is already at the right vent, but yeah, but even then, he knows Tom's at the right vent. There was still a chance that Mr. Springlock was in the vent, so it still would have been wise for him to check the vent radar before recharging the laser power. But it's okay. He still survived. Luckily, Mr. Springlock was not in the vent, so it's okay here. And yeah, see, if you hear Zack, that is Zack's second time reaching the front window because he forgot to change the temperature in time. So this was the biggest problem with not changing the temperature at the 4 minute mark, because now Zach's right there, and you still have like a minute left before having to change the temperature again. If I was in this position, if I was in the position that Ruben was in right now, then I would just ignore the 6 minute mark and I would change the temperature to 80, like as fast as possible. Right away, go as fast as possible. Change the temperature to 80 right now. Overheat the vent to make it go faster, because this is a really bad situation to be in, frankly, because he's right there. He's got 2 minutes left in the night. So yeah, luckily, Zack does not kill him in this run, but this was a possibility because of that. So this is a certain situation where it would be better to change temperature like right now. So yeah, change to 80. Don't give it 40. But it's okay overall. Still survives either way. And if I want to go back here, something crazy happens because he goes to this camera and he shocked. Even though he sees, let me go back a little bit. Try to pause at the correct time. Shattered milk and yogurt is not here, but he's shocked anyway. This is normally done to make sure that Tom is not in the camera. If Tom might have snuck there, then it's fine to waste the shock on this camera to be sure that Tom is gonna not kill you, to be more safe. The Tom safety net. This is the Tom safety net that I mentioned during episode 1. So good for him for making use of this tip, but he didn't have to do this at all, because if you go back a few seconds earlier, Tom is here. That's Tom's hand. Tom is at camera 2B, so he didn't really. So if he paid more attention to the cameras, he would have noticed that Tom is in camera 2B, and he didn't have to do this safety net for Tom. But it's okay because this actually worked out for him, because if you noticed, he's shocked on the camera, but you hear that Shattered Milk and Yogurt just left. But how could that be the case? Because if we go back here, Shattered Milk and Yogurt were not in that camera. They were not there. But he shocked that camera, and Shattered Milk and Yogurt's leaving sound cue plays. Which means Shattered Milk and Yogurt moved to that camera the second right before he shocked the camera. So Shattered Milk and Yogurt came just in time to be shocked by him. So in that situation, Ruben got very lucky in that Shattered Milk and Yogurt got shocked right, or that he managed to shock. Let me rephrase that. Ruben got very lucky that he shocked Shattered Milk and Yogurt on accident, because he didn't mean to. He didn't intend to shock them. Unless he was doing that just to be sure on Shattered Milk and Yogurt, because sometimes it would be better that if you know Shattered Milk and Yogurt are going to the shocking camera, or if they're close to doing that, then he would just then sometimes to save an extra second or half a second, you can just shock it without checking to see if they're there. If he did that on purpose, if Ruben did that on purpose, then yeah, that would overall be a good use of a tip that I provided in my guide as well. But if this was for Tom, then he got very lucky for accidentally shocking Shattered Milk and Yogurt here. He got very lucky at that. But really, I don't know what his intention was in this situation. But yeah, just something interesting that I noticed, basically. I go back over here, notice how look the hallucinations are showing up. There's like hallucinations appearing on the screen, but there's like no demise that seems to be attacking, which means demise triangle is on the camera, but he doesn't. But to be fair, in all fairness, this tip was not in my guide. By the time he recorded this video, so it's fair that he didn't notice about this. But yeah, something you can make use of. Just get rid of the device triangle right away, since if you notice those hallucinations. But yeah, it's okay overall. One mistake he did make here though. Oh, not really. I take it back. I take it back. I was about to mention something, but I take it back. Shadow making yogurt. I mean, I can't speak. Sorry. I've been having a hard time speaking this entire episode. I'm sorry for not speaking clearly. But yeah, Shadow Evil Javier is attacking the vents, but yeah, he goes to deal with them right away. Good. Right here, he had like no reason to overheat the top vent. The temperature was at like very close to 40, so he didn't really have to overheat the vent because if he overheats too early, then the temperature will go above 41, which is like a tiny bit risky. I wouldn't recommend like overheating the vent at this point. If he was trying to overheat Tom at the top vent, then this was not a good idea because you should not overheat Tom in the top vent, as I mentioned during my last episode a lot. But yeah, I wouldn't really overheat the vent if I was him, but it's okay. He gets to keep the power up for a tiny bit longer, but still, it's a tiny bit risky. Okay, Shadow Evil Javier in the vent. I would have been faster with him. I would have like gone a little sooner. I wouldn't have checked the maintenance panel. I would have, as soon as I heard the vent sound for Shadow Evil Javier, I would have gone for him right away. But right again, it's completely fine because the camera was at 3 meters, so the combo wouldn't have happened. So yeah, it's fine. Yeah, this is Zack's third time, I believe third or fourth. I'm pretty sure it's the third time that he went to the front window. Very bad situation for him here. Changed temperature earlier. If I was him, I would overheat the vent here. If I go back, I am trying to change the temperature to 80 as fast as possible. I would overheat one of these vents right here because yeah, you would Zack make him go away from your front window. Thing you could have done, but it's fine. Yeah, Liz, I mean, is at the left door camera. That's good that time. He actually overheated the vent, which made the temperature go up faster. But a mistake he actually made in this situation, he turned off the lights. Ruben here turned off the lights when this was not really well. I mean, this was a bad decision because the temperature will go down. Look, notice how the temperature is at 56 Fahrenheit. And because the temperature is at 56 Fahrenheit and the lights are off, the temperature will go down, which is the opposite of what you want to achieve. You want the temperature to be at 80 because Zack is right there. He's very close and you have to get rid of him as fast as possible. So turning off the lights was a really bad decision and will only make it harder. Yeah, it will only make it harder for the temperature to like change. So I mean, he's at the very end of the night, so really this didn't matter that much because even if Zack made it past the front window, then Zack wouldn't have enough time to kill him anyway, so it's fine. But for future reference, don't turn off the power when you have to change temperature, especially when the temperature is still at the opposite temperature, if you know what I mean. If it's like low temperature and you turn off the light even though you want it to be hot, don't turn off the lights. Yeah, this is Zack's fourth time going to the front window. Zack has used up all of his like front window like freebies. Like he turned off the lights for Zack the fourth time in the situation. If Zack had made to the front window one more time, then he would have not been he would have ignored the lights thing entirely. He would have ignored the temperature. I mean, turning off the lights for him. So luckily, he was able to survive this because it's already late in the night. And if I go back here, I'm pretty sure he shocked that camera without knowing if they were there or not. American yogurt. So good for him. He made good use of the tip again, being very careful with the shocks. Yeah, he keeps the left door laser activated for longer than needed. If I go back a few seconds, a little bit, Mr. Springlock just left the window, so he could have deactivated the left door laser here, but he didn't. It's okay overall, because again, end of the night, so it didn't matter. But basically, the main problem that's cost him a lot of like slow situations, or not main problem, but one of his problems was that he's using up too much power, too much laser power than normal. And yeah, because of that, this is his third time recharging the laser power because of that. So normally, an ideal Cartoons Massacre run is recharging the laser power only one time, but he did so much in this run that it cost for a few risky situations. So that's it. This is pretty much the end of the run. So luckily, he was able to make it through. Very nice.
Por favor. Por favor.
And to play safe, he actually just closes both
Por favor.
lasers and yep.
Se acabó.
And nice.
Se acabó.
Very good. 7 a.m. Congratulations for being, I believe, the third victor of Cartoons Massacre, or fourth. I forgot at this point, but yeah, by the time he completed, this was his placement on the leaderboard. But yeah, overall decent run. It's a decent run overall. There were a lot of mistakes, but yeah, he played this quite well, and it's good. It's a good run for its time, anyways. Because again, like a lot of mistakes that he made came from the fact that those tips that he could have used were not in my guide at the time he recorded this, so it's completely fine. For the time he recorded this like a video pretty early on, and this was a good run. He made good use of some of my tips, a lot of my tips, and even though he forgot to change temperature at 4 a.m., Zack is still nice enough to not go past the front window. So overall, nice run, very good. So I will now be doing what I usually do and go back and re-review the run to see if I missed anything, and I will come back to that moment to talk about what I might have missed. So yeah, I'll be back, guys. Just give me a little bit, and I will reanalyze this run. Okay, so something funny I actually kind of noticed here, uh, that I want to mention. So if you look here, right now, this is the part where he needs to play the audio for Jeff. He didn't play the audio for Jeff for a long time, so he should have. So that's what he plans to do. He plans to go change to the second floor. He's gonna change the layout. He's gonna switch the camera system to go on the second floor. But if you notice here, he's about to switch floors, right? He clicks twice. And if you know, this is something that sometimes happens. He was very fast in clicking. He clicked twice, so he went to the second floor, and he instantly clicked again, so he went back to the first floor. So he switched twice. Very unfortunate, but it actually kind of helped him out a bit because if you notice, right, Liz is at the front window. She's about to go leave. Liz left, and if you notice, because if you switch floors, you will be sent to a random camera in that floor. And it just so happens that when he switched to the second floor and he switched back to the first floor, he landed on the darknet camera. So because he's on this camera, then he actually was able to see Liz in the situation, which is why I mentioned earlier it was possible to see Liz. Because he clicked floor 2 and then floor 1, he switched cameras twice, and yeah, he landed on this very perfect camera to land in. So he saved lots of time. That he could have saved a time here, but yeah, a very lucky situation that he could have made use of, but unfortunately he doesn't. But it's okay. But yeah, sometimes weird things like this happen, and sometimes they work out for the better. So yeah, that's all. Yeah, just funny little like very lucky moment. There's a lot of weird, very lucky and very unlucky moments that happen in this run, which is yeah, this is one of them. Very funny. Okay, so I cannot remember if I already mentioned this or not, but something here I want to notice. I'm sorry if I already mentioned this and I'm repeating myself, but if not, I just want to make sure. So here, he sees Mike. He spends a long time looking for Mike, and right here, he was about to check the ventilator, but because the what you call this signal buffering, I think I forgot what you call it. I forgot what it's called. But because the loading please wait screen, because this is in the way, he was not able to click on the vents radar, and instead he checks the maintenance panel and decides to repair the audio system right then and there. What he should have done was that after finding Mike, he should have checked the vents radar right there. He should have checked to see if Tom needed to be dealt with or someone else might have been there. He should have checked that this kind of risks a vent character passing through. But that's all. I'm sorry if I already mentioned this. I just don't remember if I did or not. But yeah, that's all. Okay, so I'm back again. I don't remember if I mentioned this. I'm sorry if I already did. But right here, he repairs the oxygen font, and this part I remember I mentioned already. He repairs the laser power right after repairing the oxygen font when he should have checked the vent radar first. But I'm pretty sure the main reason he did this because Tom is at the right vent and he knows that his laser power is very low. So cause like look, if I go back a few seconds, not there. Oh no, hold on a second. After this part, yeah, his laser power is at 31 and it's very low. So Liz just left, but Tom is about to, yeah, Tom just entered the right vent, and he decides to reset the laser power before checking the vent radar because of this. I already mentioned the part where Mr. Sherlock could have, snuck in, and was risky, but I'm pretty sure this was his main reason of resetting the laser power, like, right after, so when you normally would check the vent radar, he did this just to play a bit safer. This is actually okay, but even then, checking the vent radar is like very short. It takes a very short amount of time, and he would have had enough time to repair the laser power and like here anyways, even if he checked the vent radar first. So that's all. I think that I just want to mention that this was his motivation for the action he did. That's it. But yeah, it's still not something I would do, but yeah, I could see why he'd do this. And I don't remember if I mentioned this. My memory is bad today or something. I'm sorry. But yeah, here a small little thing. Tom just left the vent. He's right here, but he leaves the right vent laser activated for way longer. Here he leaves it activated for like I think 5 seconds longer. I think this might be why he did this because earlier when Liz left the vent, he didn't deactivate it right away. So I think he doesn't know that if Liz left or not. He isn't paying attention to the sound cue or the ventilator to see if she's still there. So that might be why he left the right vent laser activated for as long as it did. Especially here, since Tom left, but he still kept it deactivated until now. Yeah, he left it activated for like 5 extra seconds. I think that's why. Either that or he thought he didn't have enough time to deactivate it yet because of how much he has to deal with in the camera. So either way, it's okay. Because again, he just repaired the laser power here, so it. I mean, yeah, yeah. That's all. Another like me explaining their motivation for doing the action they did, even if it's something I wouldn't do, it's justifiable. Alright, so I just went through the rest of the video and that's it. I couldn't find anything else that's worth mentioning, so yeah. That's it for Ruben's run, except there's actually one thing I did notice while rewatching it is that Darknet never attacked with his human form. Every time Darknet attacked in this video, it was always his ghost form. So really good that meant that Ruben here was able to keep the power lights off only when he went to the like sorry, I can't speak today. Gosh, what I'm trying to say is that Ruben here was able to go throughout the entire challenge by going on the cameras and having the lights off while he's on the cameras for most of the challenge. He made good use of that tip, and thankfully it resulted in Darknet never attacking with his human form and never going and appearing at the front window, only in his ghost form. So very good that he was able to make use of that strategy. But yeah, that's it for this episode of Overanalyzing Cartoons Massacre. Great run. I again highly recommend checking out his channel, especially if you understand Spanish. He makes really good Spanish videos, and he's entertaining. I'd say he's worth checking out. And yeah, very uh very cool person. I've talked with him a bunch about We Could Have Your Train, also about other things too. He's a good guy. I like speaking with him. But yeah. Thank you for watching episode 3 of Overanalyzing Cartoons Massacre, and I'll see you possibly next week for episode 4, where I overanalyze another video. But yeah, thank you bleh. Thank you so much for watching, and Ruben, I know you're watching this, so yeah, good luck with Hardest 1212 after this video. I know, like, Ruben's actually made use of my other videos, my other episodes. He's told me that he's watched episodes 1 and 2 and has learned quite a bit from it, so that's good stuff. Good luck again with Hardest Wolf 12, and yeah, hopefully by the time I finish this series, you will have beaten it. That'll be very exciting. I'll be very excited to watch that video because it's a very tough challenge to beat, and I know you've been attempting it for a while. So yeah, that's it. Bye guys. See y'all next episode, and